If you ever wondered what the LEGO Vidiyo theme would look like if it were made from Minidolls, wonder no more, I am here to show you. Although I did only dollify the ice cream mermaid and not the rest. She's the most interesting one. BrickoMotion. Hello, Claire here. This is the second part of my two-part video of turning the LEGO Vidiyo ice cream mermaid into Minidoll things. In the previous video I showed a bit about the painting process, which took me 13 hours to paint all of them. Anyhow, if you want to see more of this charming beauty, then go watch the previous video. And if you already done that or just care about the mini dolls, then stick around here. I originally did not want to make a mini doll version of this figure, mostly because I felt a bit misled by LEGO, thinking that the whole LEGO Vidiyo theme was going to be with mini dolls. And then it turned out it wasn't. I still think that was a mistake, but what can you do? Me personally, well, I can dollify the figure. Now, because I wanted my mini dolls to be able to do this, that meant that I couldn't paint over this part on the front and preferably not even on the back. Otherwise, the paint would have been damaged every time I would sit them down. The point was this part needed to stay the same color as it is originally from LEGO, and that just meant that I had full two options. I could make that part green or pink. That's it. Now, seeing that the original ice cream mermaid has pink in her outfit, the choice was a no-brainer. I just took the colors that I had to work with and I just changed them around a bit. You know, like you would in a color changing game where you change colors. Moving on. Where there's a tail, I had to take a torso as well. And I immediately took the torso of a light-skinned mini-doll. The thing is, when I see this yellow minifigure skin color, I think this skin color. And therefore, I think this skin color. So as I was laying down the base coat, I got up, walked a whole 2 steps to my mini-doll stash, and took out the torso and head pieces of the other natural skin colors that LEGO currently produces. At that point, I had the choice of creating the torso to be exactly like the minifigure or to do something different. Everything that's depicted on here was never going to fit onto here simply because of the size. And also, I am not a miracle worker. I cannot paint that many details. So what I did instead is create 3 different torso pieces that were partially inspired by the mermaid minifigure and partially by the shape of the underlying garment that I took the torso from. So for example, if the torso had something on the one shoulder, my Minidoll mermaid got it too. Oh, and if you're wondering why I didn't paint the tail tile 3 times, so I would have 3 full mermaids at all times and didn't have to exchange the tail. Well, that's because I was smart enough to know that painting this diamond pattern onto the tail was going to be a nightmare. And I did not want to do it more than twice. It actually turned out better than I expected, especially since this is my first project that I'm painting since forever. I am happy with how I painted it. I have spent way more time painting that white border than I care to admit, but at least it turned out very well. Very well indeed. I have mentioned in the previous video that it was kind of a pain to paint the pattern on the micro doll, but that is nothing compared to painting this pattern onto the mini doll one. Mostly because it's just so much bigger that you have so much more space to make mistakes on, which I then, of course, did. But if I could point your attention to the pattern at the line where the tail does the U thing, the shaping gets really weird. I have basically done the pattern on all of 3 sides that were easy to create, and then I slowly painted a bit from the front, a bit from the back, and somehow merged the lines. Apparently I did a good enough job cleaning everything up by painting over the 2 thick lines with the base color that now it looks fine. And almost as an afterthought, to better merge the torso and the tail, I have painted these tiny light pink ice cream melts that were supposed to match perfectly with the torso pieces. Now, I did create the 3 torso pieces, and on some of them, those waves match. It was a nice try. Anyhow, this torso piece, it's the most different one from the 3. Firstly, because it does have this one shoulder strap. Secondly, because it does not feature a huge shell on the front. Thirdly, because it has the diamond pattern. And I think it looks absolutely awesome now. Just like with the Microdoll and all the others, I firstly painted on the white eyeshadow over the eyelashes, which I then repainted towards the end of the whole painting process. The dots did not turn out completely symmetrical, and the eyebrows again are painted pink, just so they would match the pinkness of this mermaid. And she also looks very well with the minifigure hairpiece. They all do, because it's a great hairpiece, so what did you expect? No, I mean seriously, if you did not expect this hairpiece to look gorgeous on all of the Minidolls, I really don't know where you're coming from. Next, let's take a look at what my daughter calls the Rapunzel ice cream mermaid. Simply because I had taken Rapunzel's face to create it. And then also my daughter gave the Minidoll Rapunzel's hairpiece that I just had painted pink at some point prior to this. This is the torso where I kind of put the most effort in to look like the minifigure ones as much as possible. The third torso that I have painted is this one, and I lovingly call it the lemony one because I don't know what I was doing while I was painting it. The 11 p.m. me while I was painting this probably had a plan, but the 2 a.m. me then had no idea what the plan was. So I, basically panicked on what to do with the white middle, and then I just painted a yellow line to make it more interesting. I kind of think that I got away with it, especially because I did want these torso pieces to look different from each other. And there are lots and lots of sprinkles, which make me happy. I will admit that maybe it would have been better if I had painted the lips a magenta and not a light pink, but here we are. Now that we've seen all of the mermaids in all of their detailed glory, I think it's time to try on some other hair pieces onto them. More or less the lessons from the hair pieces from the Microdoll stand, in the sense of anything pink or lavender or white looks amazing, at least in my opinion. My daughter still doesn't like the white ones, but I do, so I'm showing them. The blue ones I think do not work as well as I would have expected, but some of the black ones really do. And even the light yellow ones look good, even though they are not as spectacular as the more unusual colors like the pink and the lavender. Also, the hair pieces that I colored for some My Little Pony characters, hence there are so many colors on them, also look very well. Like if I would have painted a hairpiece, especially for this dollification, I would have painted it in this way. That's how good I think they are. It's almost like there are these pastel colors that work well with each other, and then different toy companies reuse those color combos for their own characters. When I do these kinds of dollifications, I usually do have a favorite, but this time I cannot decide. You can tell me your favorite in the comments down below, and then I will know. And there we can also collectively be amazed at the concept of an ice cream mermaid. Until the next time you click on one of my videos, bye bye. Now imagine me painting this tailpiece with the green one. Yeah, that would not have worked. Not at all.